Well, good day, viewers. Today we have a 2008 Dodge Ram 2500 HD with the Cummins diesel. It was towed in last night for a random stalling condition. So we're going to scan it this morning and see if there's any fault codes in any computers related to the problem. I think it had a history P0700 code before. Sounds like that CD player is searching for. Fuel pump delivery pressure low. That's not a good code. Maybe it has a leak in the system. And this TCC out of range. Come on. Well, the P1011 is what we're looking for here. Let's go into the engine and look at data. Fuel turbo. I'm going to look at some data lists. So I built a custom data list. I'm looking at fuel pressure. We got about 5,600, 5,700 pounds. It's fluctuating a little bit. .94% fuel, so they just put fuel in it recently. Are here. Fuel pump current. That must be milliamps. It can't be amps, because it can't be 1300 amps. Well, while this is running, I'm going to check for case histories for that fault code. So according to the troublemaker chart, this P1011 is a deviation between the fuel pressure set point and the actual fuel pressure. I would imagine that's high pressure. And possible causes are fuel leaks, fuel filters, lift pump flow, high pressure fuel pump, leaky fuel injectors or high pressure connectors, pressure limiting valve, fuel control actuator, check valve damaged, fuel pressure sensor, fuel return lines obstructed, damaged, or debris, and cascade overflow valve or air in the fuel system. Now, looking at some cases on this, it suggests that the lift pump should run if you bump the starter, and I don't hear it. Should run for 20 to 25 seconds. Now, I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, I think this might be modified. They may have an aftermarket lift pump in there, but I don't hear it running. Don't hear anything. So we're going to have to investigate what's actually in this truck, because I don't believe it's 100% stock. So let's go into the engine and into functional tests and see if we can control that lift pump. There's a lift pump relay. I'm pretty sure that lift pump should run if you bump the starter, and I don't hear it. Lift pump driver feedback says on. I can turn the relay, I can hear the relay click on, but I don't hear the pump running. Let's find out where that relay is. So I got the relay toggling. Let's go find it. Can hear it. That's it right there. Why is it sitting out here like this? The control side of the relay is obviously working. Let's check the power in and out. Okay, so I got a test light, make sure it works. It does. So either pin 30 here or pin 87 should be power, and it's not. So obviously that comes from a fuse of some kind. But why is this just sitting out here? Is it supposed to be attached to this fender? Let's look at a wiring diagram. So I'm looking in the color wiring diagrams, which are Mitchell. I've ID'd the vehicle as a 2008 Ram 3500 6.7 diesel. I decoded the VIN. And here is they call it a fuel pump module, but it's actually just a fuel pump in the tank. So it's grounded all the time. So this wire here says it comes out of the totally integrated power module. Well, that isn't right. Let's look around. Well, closer examination, this is not original equipment. This is an aftermarket add-on, and possibly the TIPM does control the fuel pump originally, but they've added another auxiliary lift pump in here. So let's find out where this thing gets its power from. Probably right here. Seriously? Oh yeah, there we go. There's an inline fuse. I was going to say there's no fuse in this circuit. Well, let's check that. Well, the fuse is blown. Now the question is, why did it blow? I got a 10 amp fuse in there. So let's put another 10 amp fuse in there and see what happens. So I put another 10 amp fuse in there. I'm going to use a scan tool to turn it on. Now I can hear the pump running. The fuse hasn't blown. I'm going to check the current on that. Oh, I think the fuse just popped, or the relay shut off. Probably only commands it on for a few seconds. Yeah. Oh, this has got an aftermarket fuel pump assembly in it. So I got an amp clamp over the output wire, or the input wire to that fuse. Pump's drawing about 5.5 amps, 5.3 amps. I looked underneath and I don't see any chafed wires. Let's put it on a lab scope and have a look at it that way. Low amps 20. Let's have a look at that. Well, there it is at 50 milliseconds. Commutator bars look pretty good in the pump. So is it just a coincidence that the fuse blew? I wonder what they recommend for a fuse on this system. I'm going to have to talk to the customer. Okay, I just want to see if the pump will run after you bump the starter. Yep. It's supposed to run for like 20 to 25 seconds. So what I did was I put a 15 amp fuse in there, considering the wire is like 10 gauge wire to the pump. There it goes again. So it is supposed to prime, and if that pump's not running, then the injection pump can starve for fuel and cause a low pressure code. So we're going to clear the codes and send it. Well, I just came back from about a 25-kilometer road test. Truck run perfect. Monitored desired and actual high pressure fuel pressure, and they never deviated any significant amount. That lift pump is still running. I did inspect the wiring underneath the truck from that relay to the lift pump, and I don't see any compromised wires. And as I said, I put a 15 amp fuse in there. I'm sure the wiring can handle it. And then we're going to give it back to the customer and let them see what happens. It could be just a coincidence that the fuse popped, but that pump may be drawing excessive current at times, but it sure looked good on the lab scope. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching.